What's up guys, my name is Ace, and now that Season 1 is here for Modern Warfare, I wanted to share my thoughts on it. We're going to be going through the patch notes. I'm going to share the new one-shot kill potential with the Snakeshot rounds on the 357s, and those were nerfed. And I just wanted to have a discussion about the state of the game after Season 1. So with Season 1, first off, we got the Battle Pass, which I talked about in yesterday's video, and overall my thoughts are pretty positive on the way they handled the Battle Pass system. I think they did a pretty good job in this area. The price is fair, the guns are free, you don't need to spend a penny to get the guns unlocked. However, one thing I didn't mention in yesterday's video, because I hadn't actually gotten any playtime with the Battle Pass before making that video, is the tier progress is very slow. I played for a little over an hour last night, and I got through about half a tier in the Battle Pass. Now, at the time of me recording this video, I don't know exactly how the Battle Pass tiers are calculated, and if there are ways to speed those tiers up. But assuming that rate holds true for the entire season, it's going to take about 200 hours or 8 full days of gameplay time to get to tier 100, assuming you're not buying any of the tiers. That's over 3 hours of gameplay time every single day without a day off for 62 days straight. And that is pretty ridiculous, and it definitely changes a lot of my thoughts on this Battle Pass system. It was looking so good up until that point where I actually started playing with it. And this is simply just not going to be attainable for most people without spending money to unlock extra tiers. So unfortunately, a little bit bittersweet when it comes to the Battle Pass, but on top of that, we also got Crash added to the game, which I am going to be doing a full video on Crash. You guys will see that within the next 2 days or so. It'll be a pre-recorded video since I'll be on vacation for the next week. But they did bring Crash back, and they made a bunch of changes to it, which some of the changes I don't mind, some of them I'm not really a big fan of. Like I said, I'll get into more details in just a couple days. On top of that, we got the new Ground War map, Port of Verdansk, and I've only had a little bit of gameplay time on it so far, and I kind of like this Ground War map, or at least it looks like it would be good. Unfortunately, I was just having rough matches on the ones that I played, and we kind of were just getting stomped on the whole time. But I think if I was on the other side of that, it would be a pretty good map, and I don't want to judge a map just based on my poor performance on it. But then we also got 2 new gunfight maps, Cargo and Atrium, which is nice. And they brought Reinforce into the game, which is also nice for those people that like that. It's not really my style of mode, but it's kind of nice that they brought that in. And then, of course, on top of all of that, we got 2 new weapons, the Ram 7 and the Holger 26, which also, while I'm gone on vacation, I've got a video coming. This should actually be tomorrow with the basic stats of these guns, as well as my initial impressions of them. But that's what we got so far for Season 3. Keep in mind, there is more stuff that will be rolled out, which they did show off in this promotional image. And don't say I didn't warn you guys. I did mention that this would be content that rolls out over time, and not to expect this to all drop at once with the update. But a lot of people are quite disappointed in the lack of content that we got with Season 1 after seeing this promotional image. But it does clearly say there, it begins on December 3rd. And also they did tweet that this would be rolled out over time, and it wouldn't be happening all at once. Now, I think it would have been much more exciting if this all dropped at once, but it looks like that's just not how it's going to be. Now, on top of this content, we also got a title update that came with a few changes and fixes mixed in there. Of course, I will leave a link to the patch notes down below if you want to check out every single detail, but I'm going to be talking about the main ones that caught my eye. First off, they removed gun game from rotation, and this I'm not really a fan of. I still don't understand why they don't have party game modes that are permanent. I understand rotating featured modes when it comes to other game modes that maybe aren't played so often, like Reinforce, for instance, or something like Demolition, like modes like that where they're fun to play for a short period of time, but they don't really hold a large player base. I think it makes sense to rotate those in and out, but when it comes to party-style game modes, it was kind of frustrating to see that they removed the only party game mode from public matches. Additionally, they replaced Shoot House 24/7 with Crash 24/7, which I understand why they did that, because Crash is a new map and people will want to play on it and experience it, so I get that. But at the same time, there are a lot of people very upset because Shoot House was the only map that they were enjoying. And if you actually look at the global stats, apparently roughly 25% of all matches played before Season 1 were on Shoot House. So it was clearly a very, very popular playlist, and they actually removed it from this update. On top of that, they also removed the 2v2 gunfight tournaments, so it was just that 1 week thing then to get that Desert Eagle, and that was a little bit disappointing as well. I was kind of hoping that maybe every week they would give us a new reward and we could grind a new tournament every week, but instead they just removed the tournaments completely, which again, that is also kind of expected because it was technically the tournament beta, I just hope once the full tournament system launches that it will be sticking around and perhaps we will be getting those weekly rewards. Now, as for things that they added when it comes to playlists, like I said, they added Reinforce as well as Crash 24/7. They also added Ramaza and Gunrunner to TDM 20 and Dom 20, which sounds very interesting. I haven't had any time yet because I've been packing and just crazy getting videos scheduled for the vacation. But that seems like it would be fairly chaotic, especially on Gunrunner, although maybe kind of fun as well. And they also added night maps to Hardcore TDM, Search and Destroy, and Cyber Attack. Getting into actual gameplay changes, with the Riot Shield, apparently they've done tuning on how the Riot Shield protects against grenades when thrown at the player's feet, and they've reduced explosive damage within certain ranges. Additionally, like I said at the beginning of the video, the 357 with the buckshot ammunition, they have reduced its damage range pretty considerably. And unfortunately, I didn't have the pre-patch footage to see how long the one-shot kill range was, but it was significantly longer than it is now. This right here is the best one-shot kill range you're going to get, assuming every pellet hits, which is nowhere near where it was, like I said, but at the same time, I do think it is now in a good place. This is a secondary weapon after all, and pre-patch it was actually just as good, if not better, than the primary shotguns in the game. So I think it is nice that they significantly toned that back. This gun is still great for finishing kills, and it's still great if you get within this one-shot kill range. It's just now you're not going to be able to stretch out really far and get those crazy one-shot kills. Now, aside from that, everything else is pretty much just bug fixes. They fixed a lot of the challenges and the camo unlocks, and that's it. That was the big patch that came with Season 1. And I have to admit, I was pretty disappointed reading these patch notes. I was hoping for some more gameplay tuning, gameplay changes, but that just didn't come with this particular update. So here's to hoping that maybe the next update will do something significant to gameplay, but I'm not going to be holding my breath for that. It kind of seems like they are happy with the place that the game is at, and I guess that's great for the people that are enjoying the game, but there are many of us that are absolutely not. And this is where I want to just share my overall general thoughts after Season 1. And I've got to admit, I've been really conflicted lately, and I still don't know exactly how I want to handle things, because I don't want to be a negative YouTuber. I don't want to be one of those guys that build their channel around just bashing the game that they play all the time. But at the same time, I love this franchise so much, and I've loved it over the years so much, that I've built an entire business around this franchise, and I have never felt this way about a previous Call of Duty game. I've had my ups and downs in the past, I've had my little disagreements, but at the end of the day, with every other previous Call of Duty game, I was still finding enjoyment with the game. I still had a good time logging on and playing, especially a month after launch. And I've always been the guy that tries to look for the positives and always looks on the bright side of things while still expressing concerns and bringing up criticism and stuff. I've always tried to look on the bright side, and I am just having the hardest time with this game looking on the bright side after everything that's happened since launch. So while I don't want to be this negative guy that's always talking bad about the game, I also feel it's important to continue pushing and continue bringing up the criticisms, because I know there is a huge portion of people that agree with me and that don't have the voice that I have. They don't have the reach that I have, and I kind of feel obligated to keep pushing at the same time. So this is something that I'm still trying to work with, and maybe after I take a week off and have my vacation, my head will be clear and I'll be able to handle things better. But I did want to share that with you guys, that I'm feeling like I'm in a really difficult spot right now because I don't enjoy playing this game, but at the same time, I love this franchise, and I know this game could be so much better than it currently is, with honestly just a few key changes. And I was holding out hope for this Season 1 update. I thought with the launch of a new season would also come with a pretty big title update with a lot of big gameplay changes, maybe not an overhaul, but at least some changes that address the major complaints and criticisms within the community. And yet, still, nothing has happened. Nothing has been communicated, and I'm really starting to lose hope for the game at this point. And I really don't see myself playing this game for an entire year. I barely see myself playing this game for another month in its current state. And to be clear, a lot of people have been saying, well, maybe you're just burnt out on Call of Duty, and that's not the case at all. I am absolutely craving a new, solid Call of Duty game, but this game, to me, doesn't feel anything like the Call of Duties of the past. Sure, the movement, the weapon handling, the art style, all of that stuff is amazing, and they've got a really solid game there. But so many of the decisions they've made around gameplay with this seem really out of touch, and it really seems like Call of Duty has lost its identity with this game. So I don't want to take this too far and just rant and vent for several minutes, even though I could probably do that for a while. I just wanted to share how I'm feeling about things and how I am conflicted. I'm still enjoying making content and breaking down things for the game, and I want that to continue. But I also really want to be able to enjoy this game, and I just can't right now. So with that, we're going to wrap up today's video. From here on out for the next week, from me, it's all going to be pre-recorded content, so I'm not going to be covering any news that happens within the next week starting now. But of course, I still have videos scheduled, so you still will be getting a video from me pretty much every day for the next week or so. So with that, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts in general on Season 1 when it comes to content, as well as just the overall update and things that changed with that update? Are you generally happy with Season 1, or are you a little bit on the disappointed side? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.